Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
After like a month hiatus.
Pretty much. Yes.
But things have been happening behind the scenes.
A lot of moving parts.
Yeah. So that's why we have to take a little slight break. But you know, now we're back.
Yes.
We're here to deliver content.
Yeah. Welcome to ISO Insiders. This is episode 8. Don't forget, if you want to see more of our faces and hear our insights, follow the show on YouTube at Gifted Videos Network.
And also we're on Blue Sky.
We're also on the blue that is sky.
And then we're also on Instagram.
Yes. And all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe TikTok.
It's coming.
Maybe.
Possibly.
We'll see. It might get canceled. Who knows? We live in an upside down world. But anyway.
So what are we talking about today, Lance?
Today we're talking about mix minus. This is an audio thing. So how old is this?
How old
You
is
remember back in the day, Hot 97, when you used to call it for the Summer Jam tickets?
No, I used to call in for the Z100 Zootopia tickets, actually.
Ah, okay.
Summer Jam was not my thing. Zootopia was.
I got you. So same thing, right? So to explain it, you know, like when you listen to the radio, you hear people come on and you hear like an echo.
Yeah, the engineers always have to say,
Like,
turn your radio down.
Right. So technically what mix minus is, it's an audio routing scheme, right? It helps pretty much takes all your audio sources and then sends it back to the listener. So that could be somebody who's just listening or even somebody on the phone.
Okay.
But it's more for the person on the phone.
Okay.
Where they won't hear themselves. It won't echo back, no feedback, that sort of thing.
Okay.
So that's what that eliminates. So that's what mix minus is. And this was for a very long time just like a broadcast available thing. In fact, I think some of the older interfaces, audio interfaces, like the big one that has like 16 inputs and stuff like that, you have to get a literal cable to create a loop back.
Oh.
You have to like loop an audio back into itself and stuff like that. So it can do the whole remote caller, call in live sort of thing.
Yeah.
Right. It's not until I would say last 10 years or so, a lot of companies they took that same type of scheme and they put it into things like interfaces, like, you know, the small little things you buy for people, because a lot of people are getting into podcasts and stuff.
Yeah, it's taking off.
Right. So, you know, companies like Focusrite and Zoom and stuff like that, they all kind of have this stuff in it.
Okay.
Also, even like our interface, that has it. You know, it can do mix minus via USB or just through Bluetooth, whatever, that sort of thing. So technically, we could have call-ins if we went live and do the whole thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But that's what it is, and that's been the bane of existence. The bane of people who live stream now, because everybody's live streaming. Because, you know, 2020 happened, everybody's home. People was like, man, I got on there, and some people got famous.
That's true. A lot of people got famous because of COVID.
Right. And now everybody's like, hold on. It's cool, I could go live, I'm just talking to myself, but now I want to have remote people come in. I want people to come up on my panels and have this conversation. But when they did that, what happens? Echo, 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 echo. I can't hear you. What? This is too loud. This is too low and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it's because people had a lot of interfaces. Like, so for the most part, USB-C interfaces or just USB interfaces, like the Focusrite Solo and stuff like that, their whole thing is to take mics like this and make it digital. That's it. No processing, no noise gates, no none of that stuff. Okay. Until some of the companies was like, wait, hold on now. People live at home. They're not in a studio like this with all this stuff. And they're not going to sound as good as, you know, Joe Rogan or whoever.
We could talk about anybody else but Joe Rogan right now.
Well, you know, the Midas Touch is the #1 podcast now. So
you know, it's funny. YouTube suggested Midas Touch. I've been watching them. I'm like, I don't know how this popped up on my feed, but you know, I'll keep watching.
Yeah, it's a whole network, big political people.
Yeah.
Even they don't sound good, but they don't. They just don't. They don't. But
ladies and gentlemen, Lance is an audio snob. In case you haven't noticed.
Yes, snobcast, snob life.
Hashtag snob life.
But even they don't do the whole go live. They do go live, but they don't do the whole bring people, like, you know, the whole phone calling and stuff. There's only like a very few people that do this sort of thing. And people think it costs a lot of money to do. I mean, it did back in the day. This shit was expensive. Now it's really, really cheap.
As most, you know, things go. They're expensive back in the day, and now all of a sudden, you know, we have devices that just make it
Yeah.
Easy.
Because in the last episode that we did, we talked about the Streamer X. Like we did like a breakdown between the Streamer X and the Mackie. What was it? Mackie Mainstream.
Okay.
That thing.
I remember that.
And we got a question from someone named Ronan Storm, YouTube.
Sounds dope.
I don't know why people are putting YouTube at the end of their names now. I guess they just want people to know. But the question they asked was, pretty much they have the Streamer X.
Uh-huh.
And if I can gather if I can gather what they're saying, I'm trying to Ronan, write in when you see this, we'll tag you. From what I gather from your question, you are using the Streamer X and you're using a PS5 and a PC.
Yeah.
Or your friends are, I don't know, something is happening there. But you're having issues with echo. Pretty much it sounds like when people are on Discord and when they're talking, they can hear themselves, right? So based on the 5 seconds of research that I've done on Streamer X, for this very particular thing, so the Streamer X has what is called the Unify or Unity software that lets you route. You see all the stuff. It's like all the levers and pretty colors and shit like that. Even like Rode Central, like this thing right here, if you're looking at my screen. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but it's like this tiny thing. But that's what it looks like. When you download this stuff, you get 2 pieces of software.
Okay.
One is Rode Central and one is called Unity or Unify or something like that. And Unify is more like you can record in it and then you can set up all your channels and stuff like that. It's kind of like more like a DAW, like kind of like it's like a software interface. But within Rode, within the Rode Central, you can go and like route how your stuff sounds and what goes out to who and all this other stuff. We're not gonna get into it deep about how we think you could fix this issue, but from what I can tell, the Streamer X does not have mix minus.
For the record, that doesn't mean we are giving up on it.
We're not.
We want to like bring.
We're launching a new segment.
We want to bring in our PS5 to the studio and actually hook it up and see if we can recreate the problem.
Right, along with like a PC laptop, a game. Yeah. I have a gaming laptop.
We both have gaming laptops. So.
Yeah, so we'll hook those up all together. We'll make a whole video about it, and if we're lucky, we can come up with a solution for you with what you already have. That's always been my thing for people. Let's fix what you already have.
Otherwise, it's it's more one of those you might need to buy something else, and these solutions aren't always the cheapest.
Exactly, but there's more.
Oh,
so more. There are. So we will tell you about some solutions in this episode, where you may have to get rid of the Streamer X.
Don't do that.
I mean, you could keep it, but you may have to route your audio through something else. I like to do stuff through hardware. Now, through software, there is a thing called SteelSeries. I think it's from it's a company called SteelSeries.
Yeah, I have their headsets.
Right, and they make they have a app you can download or a program on Windows. I think you can get it on Mac, but nobody's using Macs to play games. Well, apparently you can.
Yeah,
Black Ops 3.
I just found out that you can't play games on Macs or something like that, and I'm like, what? Why is that a thing?
You kind of can, but not really. But that's a whole other episode.
We need an episode about that because I'm very confused.
Yeah. So there's it's called Sonar. I think it's called Aurora or something like that. But if you look for like Aurora or Sonar, that is a software that may help you. I don't know if it will or not, but it helped me in the past to route audio really well when I didn't have physical hardware to do anything.
Yeah.
So if you're just like, it's just you're trying to push like your voice, your game, and like maybe some background music or something like that, or maybe even a conversation and stuff like that. But that really depends on how you have things hooked up and everything, right?
Yeah.
So there's 2 recommendations I have, and this is just purely because of if you're a single streamer, meaning it's just you.
Just you.
You and your merry band of whatever consoles or PC or whatever you're using, and your whole thing is like, I gotta get my audio right. Everything looks pretty, but I gotta get my audio right.
Yeah.
So I recommend the Focusrite Voicecaster 2. This is specifically made for this sort of thing. Now, the crazy thing is, it is a podcaster device. It's cheap.
It's on sale.
Actually, you can get it anywhere for this same price, $100.
Huh.
So even though it said sale, now it's been on sale for the last 2 years. That means they're probably coming out with the Vocaster 3 or something or whatever. There is the Vocaster. Don't get that one. you want the Vocaster 2.
What's up with the Vocaster 2?
So the Vocaster 2, which I just picked up, by the way.
You have it?
Hell yeah, I got that shit.
Geez,
yeah.
Of course you do.
But there's a reason why I have it. But it's for this very same mix minus stuff or whatever. The cool thing is it's a 2 XLR, like it has host and guest. It's like if you're physically with someone and stuff like that. So it's pretty it's small. Nice build quality, I'm not going to lie. It's plastic, but who cares? But if you look at the back of it right here, right, where you see, I don't know why, this is this website. Don't let me see. Is there a better, let me see. Okay, these are just, okay. Kind of better.
I can see actually more of the back.
Yeah, we can see more of the back. So, okay. So you see how they have all this like set up? You see those microphones? These are the microphones we have. Those are the same one. You can use the same thing. It's really cool where it's pretty much like what we have here. It's just at 2 people. If you're physically with 2 people, you plug into XLR microphones.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, phones. Microphones, right? And it has, you can plug it, you can, 1/4-inch plugs to like studio monitors, stuff that you can get some cheap ones, doesn't really matter, and then you can also headphones for each person, and each person have their own controller and stuff, and it has compression built in, so you can it colors how your audio sounds and the whole thing, noise gates, you name it, it's in there, and you can do a lot of controls and stuff like that, and you do a lot of this control. You could kind of do it on the device, but you want to do it through the software on the computer. Just don't.
Yeah.
If you want to guess, go right ahead. But the reason why this is more for like kind of what Ronan was asking, right?
Yeah.
So you see that phone? So it has the ability to connect 2 ways. There it has TRRS or the aux cable, like the one with the 3rd ring and stuff like that. I don't know how many people still have phones that has a headphone jack.
Not many.
But you can get like a little adapter.
Like a USB-C adapter?
Yeah, to the headphone, and then boom, plug it in. So pretty much what that does, it brings in a 3rd track, meaning your phone can now be that, like a phone call could come in, or even Discord chat, kind of like what we did that test.
Yeah.
So that sort of thing. And the cool thing is, mix minus. It's already built in. You don't got to do shit, but they call it loopback. But it's the same concept.
Okay.
So you can get the Discord chat going on there as you're talking on here. They can hear you. You hear them. And boom, all mixed in. Magic.
So pretty much it's like a relatively cheap, all-in-one solution that should take care of the issue.
Pretty much. Okay. It almost rules everything out. But the other thing is if you don't have the adapter, you don't want to buy anything, no problem. Built-in Bluetooth.
Oh.
So you can just, that means it doesn't have to be a phone. It could be a tablet or any sort of thing that sends audio through Bluetooth, that sends like whatever.
Can you have somebody Zoom call in on the iPad or phone and through Bluetooth connected to the voice? Okay, cool.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, keep in mind you still need to have this device somewhat hooked up to your device. I don't think you can plug this into a phone. It'd be kind of cool if you did.
It looks like you can plug a camera, like a DSLR or mirrorless.
That's another thing. You can send your audio from your, there's like a actual aux input for cameras.
Really?
Yeah. So you don't have any audio drift and stuff like that.
Are you bringing this into the studio?
I'll bring it into the studio. We're bringing it into the studio. We'll have a conversation. We'll do another comparison video between this and the other.
I feel like I want to hook up my A740 with it and see what it can do.
Oh, it will work.
Oh,
it will work right away. It's really cool. I would recommend this to you for your station and stuff like that. So, yeah. But like I said, $100, really easy. USB-C. Well, I mean, it's USB-C to A with the cord you get, but I think you can plug in USB-C or whatever. And it has like it literally has a power button on the back of it, so you can turn that shit off. So, but if you're trying to solve that, but again, I don't know if you can put this into like your phone and it will work or anything like that. Because there's some people who ask that question too. It's like, oh, I go live on TikTok a lot with my phone. And, if all this could, I guess your phone would be able to power it. I don't know, but I haven't tried it. I don't know if that works. But for your needs for like the whole mix minus thing, I have a Discord or whatever, this is one way of doing that. I don't know if you can do it in the computer itself directly, but this is just, like I said, the hardware version is a little bit different. You will need another device to make it run.
Yeah.
Just like the Streamer X where you can plug in a second computer into it to get audio in.
Yeah.
Which I suspect is the way to fix that issue that they're having. But I don't know. But do you want to plug in a whole other PC just to get that? I don't know. It's really up to you. But that really depends on your setup, on your stream, and how you're making all this other stuff. My second recommendation is the PodTrack P4.
Oh, this thing.
Now, this is the smaller brother to our recorder here.
But it looks like it is pricey.
$129.
Oh,
yeah,
not the
pricey,
worst.
not that
the
pricey.
worst.
You know, the cool thing about this, it's really small. Not a whole lot of bells and whistles. You do get some extra stuff like sound pads. It's a 4-track audio recorder. It is made for podcasting. It can run off of AA batteries. For Windows, all you really have to do is plug in a USB-C into their connector on the side, and then you're good to go. You don't really have to do much else after that.
It's like a small form factor.
Yeah. So
does he have a phone? Wait,
that's the call-in guess.
Huh.
So you see, you can do the same thing, the same plug-in either to TRS or to the Bluetooth. But if you have to buy the Bluetooth thing. There's a Bluetooth transmitter. You do have to buy that, and you plug it in, and then hook it up to the phone, and boom, you're good to go.
Wow.
But pretty much now that track becomes, because what you would do on the third track, you switch it to phone, and then they'll be able to hear you. You can hear them, and that's how I was doing that test the other day with this particular piece of device.
You have it?
I have this as well.
You're worse than me.
I bought this years ago.
Oh, this is an old device?
This is old. This is not new.
I thought this was a new device.
No. This is not new. They do have a new one, which is just 2, but it's like USB mics and stuff like that. I don't know how that works, and I think it's cheaper, but I don't know. But this will give you the same effect, same sort of like either through Bluetooth, but you do have to buy the dongle. It is not built in. You do have to buy it separately. It is a $50 add-on.
Yeah.
If you can find it. That shit is all sold out. But the cool thing is you can record directly on the device. You don't need software. It does not have any compression. It does have like a low cut thing. Okay. So there's no noise gate or anything like that. You would have to do that in post. But this is made for on the go podcast recording kind of go. Like even when this picture here, you can see that little white wire coming out from the bottom of the phone. That's an adapter.
So basically you could take this on the go for set up for clients.
Hell yeah. You can run around, if you're trying to do like a 4-person...
Oh, podcast on the... You can do a podcast
on the go.
On the go. Oh, wait. That device looks familiar.
Yeah.
We have it?
Yeah. Well, I took it out of there.
I was like, that looks familiar.
Because it fits. It fits on the smaller one and the bigger one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So
wireless connectivity.
When we did that sports podcast back in the day in the bar.
They can do all this. But nice. This didn't exist then, unfortunately. But
it
would have been great.
Ago.
Yeah. But yeah, it's made for, like I said, on the go recording sort of thing. We're not gonna get into the whole how you set things up or anything like that. But this is how you solve, like, for inexpensive, like, because anything about like to go like there is a cheaper version to this. Apparently, it can do the same thing. But I don't have any experience with it, so I have no idea. The only reason why I would say you may want to explore that because it's much smaller, but you have less stuff. But if you're looking for something that colors your audio, so you don't like, you might be in a noisy room, you might have a fan on or something. You don't want that. You want something cut out and stuff like that. That's where Rode comes in and is really good at that. I will say if you want all that kind of stuff, it starts to get really pricey.
Yeah,
like I mean, you're jumping from like $100 to like $500.
But you're adding features. That makes sense.
You're adding a ton of features.
Yeah.
But you do add stuff that you may not even use ever. And so it really depends on, like I would say, your budget and what exactly you're trying to do here. You know what I'm saying?
Got it.
Whereas Focusrite, like I said, it hits that sweet spot. The Voicecaster, I think, is like it's a dope piece of hardware. It's really small. It works just instantly as soon as you plug it into your. I mean, you do download whatever.
Yeah.
And you can like. Apparently, it gives you a Hindenburg dog. You get it for like 6 months. I wouldn't even bother, to be quite honest with you.
It's your style.
But because the idea now is when it comes to live streaming, a lot of people don't think about, production. They don't think about that. They just think like, there should be devices made for what the stuff is. These things are made for podcasting. But with the ability to bring people in remotely, you can even do a one-camera video podcast with this sort of thing, right? Like a one wide shot, you got two people and a third person calling in, and you can add them later in post or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But the idea is, it's like, think about what other people are. When I say other people, I'm talking about like what are other industries are doing. Can they do the thing you're looking to do, and can you work that into it? And the answer is yes, you absolutely can.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like, you know, if you're trying to, if you have like an older computer, but it can still play games, like you know, some people like to play, you know, emulators, like old school games and stuff like that. But the computer is it's kind of like, if you try to like, oh, I'm going to stream, and then it just blows up. There's another way to get around that. You know, you could buy yourself a switcher. A video switcher and stuff like that, and that would take a shit ton of strain off of your computer and stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about streaming or anything like that. So think about those things when you're doing this. And I think Ronan, this may solve your problem, but it depends. I don't know if you have the funds to go get other stuff, go get it. Like I said, but you may have to give up a little bit of the
features on the Streamer X.
The Streamer X.
Yeah.
However, like I said, we're gonna do an episode on the Streamer X and see if we can recreate your problem.
What's the name of that episode? That segment?
I don't know. ISO Squad. It's like tech service.
We're thinking about actually like trying to recreate problems in the studio, and if people like comment stuff, and then see if we can fix it, and then like suggest solutions for it. So
right, and if we're lucky, this is another component I would like to add to it, is contact the manufacturer and see if they have anybody that is willing to come on the podcast and have a conversation.
Or call in.
Or call in. Be like, hey, this is what people are trying to do. Is it possible?
Yeah.
Because even that same company, Rode, like they have the whole call-in feature, but on their more very expensive devices that has nothing to do with video.
Yeah.
Like, but if you want something that does video and audio, it's going to cost you $1,200. The Rodecaster, which is our first ever episode.
Yeah.
The Rodecaster will solve a lot of this stuff.
But you're paying for that.
But yeah, it is not, like I said, back in the day, mix minus or loopback is expensive, man. It's not a cheap thing. But if you're getting into this sort of the streaming world, you know, everybody says, oh, just get OBS. Yeah, but then you need a multi-core processor. You need multiple screens. You need a shit ton of RAM. You need a really good graphics card. You need cooling. By the time you sit down, you spend way more than buying a Rodecaster.
That's why I'm just glad I have you, because when it comes to streaming, my brain hurts, and I'm just like, I'd rather just be shooting myself.
Dude, this
is why I have Lens.
It's getting cheaper. And
all at once.
Maybe we'll do an episode on that one day.
Okay.
I don't know, because I've been thinking. I was like, oh, maybe if we do this, this, and this.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. For a good streaming setup, almost $1,000. That's what everything, though. That's what everything.
Yeah.
Camera, microphone, headphones, your lights, the whole thing. You know, plus I'm including things like the console.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? It's like, are you trying to be fancy or not? But whatever. But that's a whole other thing. But but right now, as it stands, yes, live streaming is not cheap, even if you're doing it on TikTok through your phone. Because, you know, I mean, phones are heavily subsidized, right?
Yeah.
But the actual cost for a phone is what? On average, $1,000?
$1,000 about now.
Right? So even that, just one device. But now they want to be like, oh, I want people to call in. Psh, shit out of luck. I'm going to have to buy something else. Because technically, you know, and then people who like to, what they call multicast and stuff like that. So it's like people are like, oh, well, I'm going to multicast. So technically what they're trying to do is like go live on TikTok and then stream that out.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way. You have to stream to it and then out to. That's a whole other technical setup and stuff like that. But just to say, what is it? But Ronan, hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that helps you out. But this is just a preliminary thing. We will get back to you with the more troubleshooting episode.
Just gotta bring the PS5.
ISO troubleshooting.
I think not.
ISO troubles.
ISO Tech Squad.
Yeah, Tech Squad or something like that. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll make it cheesy in like the 80s. Like,
oh God,
Hacker Man.
Sir, no.
Anyway, that wraps up this episode of ISO Insiders. Don't forget to follow us on all the socials that's out there. We have 2, maybe 3.
I think we have 3, sir.
We'll probably have a third. Maybe.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and please comment if you want us to talk about a certain item across the tech space. I mean, you're talking photography, videography, audio, live streaming.
Yeah.
I mean, we may have it, we may get it. Just hit us up.
Yeah, we may have worked with it, or who knows.
That's true. Or we may know somebody who has worked with it.
Yeah, and we could probably have them on. We'll see what happens.
You never
NAB
know.
just happened.
That is
a lot of
true.
news coming out of that. So
Imagine if we could do a live stream from NAB. Now that would be awesome.
we probably could.
Can we?
I mean,
NAB.
cool.
There is a New York NAB.
I mean, we should hit them up. Be like, hey, can we get a booth? It'd be a very small booth.
They'd be like, yeah, sure, $15,000.
Or maybe we'll come up with some sort of Roman live streaming backpack, like just run around like, what's this stuff? It's like,
That's actually
although
interesting.
it is in the Javits Center, I don't know how well the signal is going to be. It's probably going to be like shit. I don't know.
You do raise a good point.
Yeah, it is Javits Center. Ugh.
But it'd be cool to think about.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Maybe we'll get in there. But until then, peace.
Peace.